How should CFOs work with sales? Building a partnership that actually works. Early in my career as a CFO, I had a VP of sales who once walked into my office and said, "Hey Hindal, I need you to stay out of my way. Your job is to count the money after you bring it in. My job is to bring it in. So let me do my job." I understand where he was coming from. He has had bad experiences with finance people who just said no to everything, who slowed deals down, who didn't understand what it takes to close the business. But here's a catch. Here's the thing. He was wrong, not about necessarily his past experiences. Those might have been real, but what is wrong about what he was wrong about is the role that CFOs have in the sales process. The best sales team I've worked with don't see finance as a department that counts money after the fact. They see finance as a partner who helps them win smarter deals, forecast better, and ultimately make more money. So, I'm Hindol. I've been a CFO for over 25 years, and today I want to talk about how CFOs and sales leaders, they should actually work together. So let's get into it. Why this relationship matters, the sales-finance relationship. Why is it so important to the company? Sales is the engine. Remember, sales is the engine that brings in the revenue. And without sales, guess what? There's no company. Every CFO understands that or needs to understand that. But finance, they control the resources, they set the guardrails, and is accountable to the board and the investors for the numbers. If the sales is promising things a company cannot deliver, or they are closing deals that lose money, or they are forecasting badly so the company misses its targets, that is a problem that finance has to deal with. When CFO and sales are not aligned, you get one of two bad outcomes. Either finance becomes the no department, and every deal, it needs an approval, and every discount is literally getting into a fight, right? Sales feels like they're working against their own company instead of against the competition. And then you have good salespeople that leave because they are frustrated. Or finance is invisible. Sales does whatever they want. Margins erode because discount is totally out of control. The cash flow, it suffers because payment terms are too generous. The forecasts are unreliable because sales just tells you what they think you want to hear. And neither of this is good to be in. This is not a good place to be in. What you want is a real partnership where finance understands what sales needs to win and sales understands what finance needs to keep the company healthy. And that's when you get the best outcomes. Deals that are good for the customer and good for the company. And that's what you're striving toward. Forecasts you can actually rely on. And a sales team that trusts finance instead of working around them. What sales needs from the CFO? What do they actually need? Let me talk about what sales needs very specifically, so I think that will give you the framework. Because if you don't understand their world, the sales world, you cannot be a good partner. The first thing that sales need obviously is speed. Time kills deals. Deals move fast. Customers have timelines. Competitors are circling. If finance takes 3 days to approve a deal, that deal might be dead. The CFO needs to create processes that are fast without being reckless. Second, sales need flexibility. Not every deal fits a standard template. Big customers want custom terms. Competitive situations require or warrant creative pricing. If finance's answer is always, "That's not how we do it," well, sales cannot compete. Now, flexibility doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It means having options. We cannot do net 90-day payment terms, but we could do net 60 with a 2% early payment discount. Now, would that work, salesperson? Yes, that's flexibility. Third, the sales need clarity. What can they approve on their own? What needs escalation? What is absolutely off limits? If the rules are unclear, either sales will be too cautious and they'll lose deals, or they will guess wrong and create a lot of problems on the back end. Fourth, the sales need data. What is the average deal size? What is the win rate at different price points? Which products have the best margins? Good salespeople want to sell smarter, and finance has the data to help them. Fifth, sales need a CFO who understands their goals. Sales lives and dies by quota. They are under pressure every quarter. If the CFO does not appreciate that pressure, they will come across as out of touch. You don't have to agree with everything that sales wants, but you have to understand where they are coming from. So, what does a CFO now need from sales? We're going to flip the equation here a bit. First, they need accurate forecasts, and that's a big one. The CFO is making commitments to to the CEO, to the board, to the investors, to the bank. And if sales say they're going to close $5 million this quarter and they end up closing $3 million, that's a problem, not just for the CFO, for the whole company. So you're not asking for perfection, but forecasting is hard. I need sales to be honest about what is real and what is wishful thinking. I would rather have a conservative forecast that we beat than an optimistic one that we miss. Second, I need sales to respect the guardrails. If we have agreed that anything over 20% discount, they need approval, I need sales to actually get that approval, not close the deal first and ask for forgiveness later. You know what that does? That erodes trust between the departments and it creates long-term problems. Third, I need visibility into the pipeline, not because I want to micromanage, but because I need to plan. If I can see what is coming, I can make sure that we have the resources to deliver. I can plan the hiring. I can plan the cash flow. And surprises are the enemy of good financial management. And big surprises can be a killer. Fourth, I need sales to understand the unit economics. Not every deal is a good deal. If you're closing business at negative margins just to hit a revenue target, we are hurting the company. I need sales to care about profitability. I need them to care about the bookings or the quality of the bookings. Fifth, I need a partnership on pricing strategies. Sales is on the front lines. They know what customers will pay. They know what competitors are charging. That information is gold for setting the right pricing. But it only works if sales share it honestly, not just advocates for lower prices so they can close their deals more easily. Building the relationship is very, very critical in the long run. How do you actually build this partnership? Let me share some things that have worked for me in the past. First, spend time together. Make it a point to sit in on sales calls, join those pipeline reviews, attend those sales team meetings. And you're not doing that to audit them, you're there to understand their world, to feel their world, to empathize with their world. The more I understand what they're dealing with, the better partner I can become. Second, create those joint goals. Instead of finance having its targets and sales having its targets, find the goals that you actually share. Revenue is an obvious goal that you share, but gross margin, cash collection, customer retention, these are goals too. And when you are both measured on the same thing, then you're naturally aligned. Third, make approvals quick. Make the turnaround quick. I talked about this earlier, but it's worth repeating. If your deal approval process is slow, sales will hate you. Set up systems that let standard deals flow through quickly. Save the heavy review for the deals that really, really need it. Fourth, be a problem solver. Don't be a gatekeeper. When sales brings a deal that does not fit the standard terms, don't just say no. Ask those questions. Understand what they are trying to accomplish. Then work together to find a structure that works for everyone. Fifth, share the data. Give sales visibility into the metrics that matter. Show them the numbers. Help them see how their deals impact the business. And when sales, they understand the financial picture, they make better decisions at that point. Build those personal relationships. That's a sixth point, very important. That sounds very softy, but it matters. Grab a cup of coffee with the sales leaders. Get to know them as people. Trust is built through long relationships, not just working the process. Be cognizant that there are common friction points that often happen. And let me talk about them so you're mentally prepared. Discounting is probably the biggest element where the friction happens. Sales always wants more flexibility to discount. Finance wants to protect the margins. The solution is clear. Provide clear guidelines. What is allowed at what approval level, combined with data on how discounting affects win rates. Often the data shows that heavy discounting does not necessarily actually improve close rates that much. And when sales see that, they are more willing to hold the line. Forecasting accuracy is another big one. If sales keep missing forecasts, finance will get frustrated. And the answer is better pipeline discipline. Clearer definitions of what counts as a qualified opportunity. And doing the regular forecast reviews where you pressure test those assumptions. Commission structures can also cause friction too. Sales wants plans that maximize their OTEs, their earnings. Finance, they want plans that drive the right behaviors. This needs to be a collaborative design process, not finance dictating terms. And recognition timing becomes critical. When does revenue count? When can it be a source of tension, especially at quarter end? Sales wants to pull the deals forward. Finance, they need to follow the rules. Clear policies and early communication, they actually help here. So empathy is fundamentally very key, very important between sales finance partnership. The first thing and the key takeaways would be the first thing, the CFO and the sales leader need to be genuine partners. They cannot be adversaries. When this relationship works, you get better deals, you get better forecasts, a healthier company. When it doesn't, everyone is losing. Number two, understand what each side needs. Sales, they need speed, they need flexibility, and they need clarity. Finance, they need accuracy in forecast, respect for the guardrails, and visibility into the pipeline. Well, meet each other halfway, if not full. And number three, build a relationship through time together, through maybe shared goals and being a problem solver instead of just being a gatekeeper. Trust does not happen automatically. You have to invest in it. You have to have IOUs in that bucket. In the next video, I'm going to go deeper into one specific part of this relationship of how finance can help sales with deal strategy and pricing. So thank you for watching. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.